Hansel and Gretel, adapted by Amanda Askew, illustrated by Andy Catling. Once upon a time, Hansel and Gretel lived in a tiny cottage with their father, a poor woodcutter, and their cruel stepmother. "There are too many mouths to feed," their stepmother told the woodcutter. "Take the children miles from home so far they can never find their way back." Overhearing the conversation, Hansel slipped out of the house, filled his pockets with pebbles, and then went back to bed. All night long, the woodcutter's wife nagged her husband. The next day, he led Hansel and Gretel away into the forest. As they walked through the trees, Hansel dropped the pebbles here and there. Suddenly, the woodcutter slipped away, and the children found themselves alone. Gretel began to sob bitterly. "Don't cry," said Hansel. "I'll take you home, even if Father doesn't come back for us." Luckily, the moon was full that night, and the pebbles gleamed in the moonlight. The children found their way home and crept through a half-open window without waking their parents. When their stepmother discovered that Hansel and Gretel had returned, she was angry. She kept Hansel and Gretel under lock and key all day, with only a sip of water and some stale bread. When dawn came, the woodcutter let the children out into the forest once again. Hansel, however, had not eaten his bread, and as he walked through the trees, he left a trail of crumbs to mark the way. Again, the children found themselves alone. "Don't worry, I have left a trail, like last time," Hansel whispered to Gretel. Sadly, the little boy had forgotten about the hungry animals in the forest. In no time at all, the crumbs had all been eaten. When dawn broke, they wandered through the forest. On and on they walked till they came upon a strange cottage. "This is chocolate," gasped Hansel as he broke a lump of plaster from the wall. "And this is icing," exclaimed Gretel, putting a bit of a door spot in her mouth. Starving but delighted, the children began to eat pieces of the cottage. Quietly, the cookie door swung open. There stood an old woman. "Well, well," said the old woman, peering at them, "you children have quite a sweet tooth. Come in and eat what you wish." Unluckily for Hansel and Gretel, the delicious cottage belonged to a witch. They had fallen into her trap. "You're nothing but skin and bones," cried the witch, locking Hansel into a cage. "I shall fatten you up and eat you." "You will do the housework," she told Gretel. "Then I'll make a meal of you too." Each day the witch would feel Hansel's finger. The witch had poor eyesight, so he held out a chicken bone. "Too thin," she complained. "When will you become plump?" At last the witch grew tired of waiting. "Light the oven," she told Gretel. "We're going to have roasted boy today." When the witch bent down to see if the oven was hot enough, Gretel gave her a tremendous push and slammed the oven door shut. Free at last, the children stayed at the cottage eating candy. After a few days, they found a huge chocolate egg filled with gold coins. "The witch is burned to a cinder now," said Hansel. "We will take that treasure home with us to Father." They set off into the forest, and on the second day they found their way home. Their wicked stepmother had left in disgust, so Hansel and Gretel and their father lived happily ever after. The end. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye!